coach got suspended for doing his job.
Totally agree with you. I feel like he shouldn't have got suspended. Should not have got suspended.
Yeah. All right, Jack. What do you have for us this week?
Mine's a big issue in Canada. I'm here to talk about the convoy freedom protest that's happening. Well, that made their way to Ottawa. Freedom Convoy, I think it's called.
The Freedom Convoy?
The truckers, man. The truckers, how they're mandating vaccination, that all truckers have to get vaccinated.
To cross the border, right? To drive to the US?
Yeah. Well, no, in general. They have to get it in general.
Okay.
I think they just it's required by law that all truckers have to get vaccinated because they do have to cross the border and they have to travel from maybe province to province.
Was it America who said if Canadians want to come in, they got to be vaccinated, right?
Yep. So yeah, it's part of it. Yes, I would say it's part of it, correct. But also I feel like, traveling within provinces, that's also an issue, right? And that they can't cross the border if they can't get a shot. If they don't get the shot, sorry.
So essentially, they'll lose their jobs. Like, if you can't deliver this, you're a trucker. That's your only job, right?
Basically, like, people are like, upset that truckers have to get vaccinated. It's against the infringement of freedom or whatever you fucking call it.
Would you say so? Would you agree though? Is that an infringement of freedom?
Yeah, I've been through this with you. I feel like, getting shot is
should be optional.
Should be optional. And this is where I go back to, Gavin, because you never agree with me on this. You feel like everyone has to get the shot. Even if they lose the job, they have to get the shot. Unless, if you don't get the shot, you lose a job. This is exactly what's happening. As I was talking about, now they're, protesting about it. I feel like it's not fair to these people that, like, they're going to lose their job because they're not getting vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
That's an
so what did
they
do? So they made a convoy. They drove all the way across Canada
to Ottawa
to go to Ottawa. And what's happening in Ottawa?
Capital. And this is the part which I don't agree with. And I agree with, like, Hong Kong protests until it gets to the point of violence and vandalism and raising Nazi flags. Like, what the fuck are they doing, man? Like,
they're doing that in Hong Kong. They're raising. You mean?
No. I just mean in general. Like shit starts happening, right? And like in Ottawa, like, people start raising the Nazi flag, vandalizing shit. The protesters wrecking on a homeless shelter and in downtown or something like that for the soup kitchen program. They're getting harassed, to get like food or some shit, and like people are getting assaulted, bro. I don't agree with that shit.
Is that everyone though? You think that's everyone? Thousands of people went to the protest. Is everyone like that? Is everyone vandalizing? Is it not just a small handful of people? Because I don't know. Like, can you blame the entire peaceful protest on? I don't know. I don't know how many people were. Obviously, some people might get out of hand and do some crazy shit, right? There's thousands of people. On the whole scale, is Ottawa a shit show now, basically? What's happening in Ottawa?
Ottawa, they're just basically they're protesting, trying to get like the freedom, and that they shouldn't require shots or whatever.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. But is it a peaceful protest? Is what I'm asking you.
No, I wouldn't say there's violence involved, raising the Nazi flag.
Like, people are just rolling up with the Nazi flag.
Not everyone, obviously, but like those extremists. You know what I mean?
It could be like one guy who did that, right? Because I don't know, you're making it sound like it's like in chaos, like the streets in Ottawa are on fire. Which is, I'm trying to paint the picture of what exactly is happening. If it's just one guy holding a Nazi flag, that's clearly an outlier, right? If it's one guy, I don't think it should reflect on the entirety of the protest. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's stuff that's happening that's not part of the protest, and I don't think that's right. That's all. That's how I feel. And the reason why I brought it up is because, yes, this protest is something that that's going the right way, and I totally agree with it. But what they're doing on the side of it is something I don't agree with, and that's the issue. And what I'm trying to say?
I know it's being derailed, of course. Like most protests do face this, because if so many people join, someone is going to be an outlier, obviously, and it's not fair that the outlier is a representative of the entire protest. If one guy is fucking it up, doesn't mean that everyone else isn't protesting peacefully. All in all, though, do you think it's working? Is the protest working?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't, like, I don't think I heard word back. I just, hear, Justin Trudeau say, like, these people are, like, derailing it. They're racist, shit like that, shit Justin Trudeau says, I don't think Justin Trudeau's doing anything. I don't think it's working, but it's hard to say, right? People are willing to stay for months for this protest.
It's great they're doing this because they're standing up for themselves. I don't think the people you're talking about who is causing shit, they're probably not part of the protest. There's a handful of people who are going to be like the anarchists. They want to cause trouble. And, the media gets a hold of it. One guy vandalizing. One guy holding a Nazi flag.
Don't get me wrong. There's also people that's done good things. Like, I see online that someone was cleaning the Terry Fox statue. Like, they dirtied it or something like that. And then the protesters were cleaning it.
Right. No. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, like, the guys who are vandalizing shit, they're probably not here for the protest. They're using the protest as a way to get away with doing shit. Like, they vandalized the Terry Fox statue. How fucked up is that? What the fuck did Terry Fox do to you that you have to vandalize his statue? Like, I'm sure every Canadian has, we have a deep connection with Terry Fox. We did the Terry Fox run as a kid in elementary school. We know, this guy got cancer. He cut off a leg and he tried to run across Canada. Why are you bringing him into your argument, right? Why are you vandalizing a man's statue? You know what I'm saying? Probably just, a handful of people who are trying to get away with creating chaos during what it seems like a pretty peaceful protest. But of course, they always twist it. Like, all it takes, Jack, is one photo of the vandalized Terry Fox statue. One photo of truckers parking on a war memorial. One photo of someone doing some shady shit. And then, it's easy target for the media. These guys are trouble. These guys are causing damage in Ottawa. It's not a productive use of time. Yada, yada, yada. And that's how you get around it. That's how you say peaceful protests are bad, and it makes it look violent. And unfortunately, it does derail from the cause. They're trying to do one thing and then some next shit happens and that becomes the main focus, like you're saying. Yes, it's an issue that people are vandalizing and causing damage. And unfortunately, it's working. It's working because it's taking away from the traction that the protest has drawn, and it's taking away from what people are actually trying to do in Ottawa.
I totally agree with you. There's always, those rotten eggs in a basket, right? You know what they say, right?
I guess.
But maybe I don't know all the details about this protest. Obviously, I'm just a simple man
there.
from.
We're not there. Yeah.
I'm just a simple man from Markham, right? So,
Would you want to go to a protest like this?
No, it's too cold, bro.
If it's in the summer, it's in the summer, would you want to go?
No. I don't want to be involved.
You don't want to fight with your freedoms?
No, because I don't want to be on the newspaper. I don't want to be people take pictures and I'll be one of them and then be like written history. Jack C was there. I don't want that happening, bro.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to be known. I thought you wanted to be known for something. You don't want to be on the winning side of history, like fighting for the people's freedom.
Not in this sense,
Damn, really? All right. I thought you want to be known,
I don't think that's the right way to be known, I'd be more known as like maybe a singer, a basketball player, a soccer player, even a badminton player, for fuck's sakes.
Damn, the disrespect on badminton players, bro. You don't want to be a freedom fighter? You don't want to be like a man of the cause? All right.
Not for that. But, I hope that this rolls over and it's good outcome for the truckers or whatever, right? Because how I see it, right? If people don't get the shot and they get COVID, they die. It's their fault. They didn't get the shot, right? Freedom. But I don't feel like it should be forced upon on. That's how I see it. I mean,
well, going back to that example, yes, it's a very straightforward way of thinking. Yeah, your choice, bro. If you want to get the shot, cool. If not, that's cool as well. Unfortunately, though, if you don't get the shot, you're higher likely to catch COVID, right? Or not to catch, even to have deadlier symptoms.
Yeah.
To have deadlier symptoms. But are you even at a higher risk to spread it if you have COVID, if you don't have the vaccine. Like if you have the vaccine, the symptoms are kind of suppressed, right? And the chances of you spreading it are probably less than if you didn't have the vaccine. So,
No, I
if
don't
that
think.
was true, no?
No. Spreading is the same. It's just that how severe it is. That's the only thing that's what the shot does. Like we get the shot, like we won't die from it because we got the shot.
Mm-hmm.
But the
But we're saying
contagious,
it's equally contagious.
yeah, COVID equally contagious.
Okay, so in that case, your thinking is let them die. There's no difference if you get the vaccine or not.
No. Getting the vaccine basically allows you to live through. Like the symptoms won't be as severe.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't get the shot, you might die from it. That's the only difference. The contagious, when you're sick during that period, you can pass it on to someone else. There were still so many people during like this lockdown that just passed. There's a lot of people that got the shot, still got Omicron because it's very contagious. It still happens. It doesn't make a difference on that. How I see it is just that if you don't want to get the shot, sure, don't get the shot. If you die, you die, right? It's on you. Freedom, right? That's how I see it, right?
The whole idea is bro. The whole idea is if let's say you were the owner of the truck driving company, right? Let's say you're the owner. You very well know that this guy's not vaccinated. Can potentially put him in a life-ending situation, right? Like we're talking about if they catch COVID. Obviously, you're driving around between borders. There's a higher chance you can get the disease, right? As the employer, you're literally like you're down with saying like, yo, okay, there's a higher chance you might die, but yo, your choice, bro. Yeah. I don't know like if that works, right? You're just gonna let hundreds of thousands of drivers theoretically march to their death by letting them continue to work even though they're not vaccinated?
It's whatever, man. It's freedom. It's freedom. That's what freedom does, man. Do you want to take away the reason for this is because we're taking away their freedom.
Like the vaccine is something preventing them from dying. Yeah, sure. They might not care about it. They might not believe it. But if the people in power believe that it's something keeping people alive, like literally, we're not talking about, losing by 88 points in a basketball game. We're talking about life or death here, right? It's not a joke.
So I want to say you don't agree with this Freedom Convoy March.
I do.
You're totally against it.
I do agree. No, I do agree with it because they're standing up for what they think is right. Okay? What I don't agree with, and this is an aside, is that the people who are part of the trucking company are letting people who are unvaccinated and potentially letting them die. Like, oh, no big, like, yo, you want to do this? There's a higher chance of you dying? No big deal. That's what I'm not down for because, like I said, it's life or death. This isn't win-lose, right? This isn't like a game. You'll wake up the next morning. This is about human lives, which I value a lot. Of course, if it's just a matter of you choosing to not get vaccinated, I think that's fine. If you choose not to, that's fine. But like as an employer, you have a responsibility to make sure your workers don't die.
No, you're right. But
like I'm just thinking it from the employer perspective. What sane employer would let employees die? That's where I'm coming from. I don't give a fuck if you choose not to get vaccinated. In fact, I think if you're going for this freedom convoy, more power to you because you are standing up for what you believe in, right? That's fine. That's fine. If you were some like freelance truck driver who wasn't vaccinated, that's fine. You do you, right? But at the same time, like, we're talking about life and death here. You might not believe in the science, but the fact is the people in power believe in the science. Jack, you're always miscuing my ideas. You think that I'm for this dictatorship. I'm not for the dictatorship. All I've done is lie out what I see in front of me. The world I currently see is that there are vaccine mandates, right? There are these mandates. So if you want to do normal shit, you have to get vaccinated. I've never once said you need to get, like, as an opinion that you should get vaccinated. I've never once said that. Week after week, though, you keep bashing me, saying I'm a pro-vaxxer. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck what you do as a person. I think, you should have your own decisions. But the thing is, the people in power, that's what they believe, or at least that's what they want you to believe, right? If I'm trying to be a skeptic about this. And at the end of the day, what they say will go, unless what these people are doing, they're standing up for themselves, right? They're protesting. That's the point of it, right? The whole freedom fighter thing. I encourage you to get the vaccine, but I never once said you need to get it. We're clear on that, Jack?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. Anything else on this
issue?
Bro.
That's it. No, that's it.
What's the issue, though? Is it the protest itself? Is it the handful of vandalizers? Is it...
It's a issue,
Everything? Is it that truck drivers can't do their jobs and it's fucking up the supply chain? There's a lot of issues, yeah.
To me, it's just, the vandalism, the violence, the raising of the Nazis flag.
Is that often, though? Is that not just one guy? One guy brought a Confederate flag or something. One guy wore a Donald Trump hat. I don't think if you go to Ottawa, you'll see sea of red, right? It's not like that, right? It can't be. Unless I'm so out of touch with reality. Is it like that? No. You can tell me otherwise.
It's not as intense, but people are still doing it, and I don't feel that's right. That's the first thing. Second thing is that I don't think the government should mandate it. I know your perspective, how owners, whatever. I don't think it should be mandated. I don't think they should have their freedom. They shouldn't lose their jobs just because they don't get it. And I feel it's so unfair. Mm-hmm. That's another issue. But that's always been an issue, though. And I totally understand what you're saying from the government's point of view. People of higher power, employers, stuff like that. I totally understand, but you have to see it from a perspective and I go back to this all the time. If the government can mandate this, they'll just mandate everything else if we don't do anything.
Of course, because you can get away with more shit. Why wouldn't you, right? If you're a truck driver, you're like, yeah, I feel bad for you. And if you choose not to get vaccinated, you should stand up for what you think is right, and you should do what you can to protect your livelihood. Another point, just bringing up the comment from Kyle, it's a public health matter. And, I think we've talked about this in the past, when public health doesn't trump personal freedom. If you can save X amount of people at the expense of removing the freedoms of people, is it worth it? Is it worth saving lives in exchange for a loss of freedom? And that's the question, right? That's the question. Of course, some people might not believe in the science behind the vaccine, and that's their opinion. But what it is now is are you willing to potentially sacrifice lives in order to keep your freedom? Or is it more important to keep the public healthy at the exchange of some freedom? Of course, no one wants to be in this situation, and I would not want to be the decision maker in charge of the situation. But what would you do, right? Public health versus personal freedom. Obviously, it's easy to say. Look, Jack. Obviously, it's easy to say in a micro perspective. You're a trucker. You want freedom. You don't have the vaccine. Fine, you do you, right? Not my fault if you die or whatever. But as a decision maker, as a politician, as the prime minister, you have to weigh this: personal freedom versus public health. What are you going to choose? I don't have an answer for that, right? Obviously, the way we're going, where public health is the priority, it seems like, because we have these mandates. Who's to say if you or I were in this situation, we wouldn't do the same thing? And if we did the other thing, and a lot more people died, would those deaths not be on our hand? It's a tough decision.
You are right. There's nothing much we can do.
All right, well, listeners, let us know what you think about our issues this week. Was it bad sportsmanship for a team to win by 88 points in a junior varsity basketball game? What are your thoughts on the Freedom Convoy? They're doing what they're doing. Maybe we missed some points. Let us know and add to the conversation. Would love to hear from everyone. Ready to move on, Jack?
Yes, I am.
We're doing the Facebook. We're putting hand back in the cookie jar. We're looking at a Facebook post. This is from Subtle Asian Relationships. And someone has a comment which I think could be a very interesting conversation. So, let's see. Let me pull it up here. This person says, I need some advice. My boyfriend has Instagram and doesn't post much content. He's a few landscape photos and one photo of himself pre-COVID. He posts stories on IG though. I suggested that he posted a photo of us 2 months ago. He agreed, but I didn't see anything. I recently suggested he post a photo of us on IG. He said he doesn't post photos often on social media and thought it would be weird. I met his friends, but have a weird feeling about this. We looked through one of our recent couple selfies and he said his face looked weird. I told him he looked very handsome and I meant it. He disagreed and said maybe we can take a full body photo next time. I'm thinking this is an excuse so he won't have to post. I know it sounds childish, but I feel like he's trying to hide me from his exes who he's still friendly with on social media. I need advice. Is this a red flag? Am I overthinking this? How do I bring this up to him again without sounding insecure? Appreciate the advice and input on this. You know, social media is a big part of modern day relationships, right, Jack? What you do, you know, there's a whole intricacy of what is acceptable etiquette. This person's asking, you know, my boyfriend doesn't post about us on social media. Is this a red flag? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't think it's a red flag. You know, I don't post a lot up with my girlfriends. Well, to be fair, when I was younger, like maybe early 20s, I used to post a lot, and I think, you know, you've seen it, Gavin. You know, I think the boys have seen it, right? But as I aged, I don't know how young or old this person is that's making this post, but
we don't know. Yeah,
you know,
we don't know.
as I age, I feel like you don't need to flaunt your relationship. You don't need to force a dude to post something, right? Like if he wants to post something, sure, let him be. If he's not posting, you don't need to be like upset or feeling insecure about it.
Right, and it seems like on the average, the dude has a few landscape pictures and one photo of himself pre-COVID. I don't think this is the type of person who overshares, right? This is someone who's probably low-key about it. If this was, like, on the other hand, if this was someone who posted a lot, posted, like, tons of shit weekly, and they're not down for posting couple pics, do you think that would be a red flag?
No, I post a lot of shit. I don't post couple stuff.
So her excuse or her feeling is saying, I think, you know, I feel like he's trying to hide me from his exes who's he's still friendly with on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, is he trying is he trying to hide the fact that he's in a relationship from the exes who maybe still follow him on social media? You know what I'm saying? Is that,
I'm not
you think that's a valid thing?
That's 100% valid, because I think, you know, I had exes where they felt that way too, because I never posted. They feel like, oh, Jack wants to appear single, so he's not posting anything. The girl or, you know, past girls get insecure that I'm not posting anything. I'm like, bruh, like, I don't post a lot of stuff with girls, and when it's with girls, it's like a group thing, right, with like multiple people. I just feel like, you know, you don't need to flaunt. Like, I don't think the guy wants to flaunt, because, like, here's the thing. If you post something, and if you all of a sudden all those pictures disappear, people are gonna start asking, "Oh, what happened? Did you guys break up?" And
that's the bigger, that's the bigger
issue, man. It's like, bro, like, dude, I remember posting it. I remember posting something when I was younger, in my early 20s. I posted something, and then after, like, I broke up with this girl, I deleted everything, and then, you know, you get tons of messages.
The fucking walk of shame, Jack? Like, deleting all these pictures, right?
Yeah. It's like, bro, like, you don't want the explaining part is the worst. When multiple, like, obviously it's a good thing your friends are checking up on you, whatever, right? Or maybe they're just, you know, nosy, whatever. But, like, bro, you have to explain. Yeah, we broke up. You have to say that like 10 billion times, right? Especially if you have a lot of friends. That's the bigger issue. And if the guy doesn't post it, let it be. If the guy posts it, cool. Like, you know, whatever.
But with that, like, bro, but with that reason, like, you know, if we're genuinely trying to answer this person's comment, right? With that reason, because it sounds like the only reason you don't want to post about it is because you're afraid, or, you know, like, it's like a safety net. Because, like, if you do break up, right, then what are you gonna do? You don't want to bother deleting hundreds of photos, right? If that was the reason, you know, you're not posting a couple pictures, isn't that kind of show that you don't fully trust in the relationship? Therefore, is that not a red flag? Assuming the reason why the boyfriend's not posting on Instagram is because he's afraid of that, you know, he's afraid of the walk of shame of deleting the pictures, which is very valid. But if that's the reason you're not posting, then that means you're not kind of committed. You're not really committed to that relationship. That's what it sounds like to me. Here's the thing.
how long has your relationship been? Is it stable?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
True.
maybe you can come to a compromise with the girl. You know, maybe the girl doesn't want pictures posted. Maybe the girl does. In this case, it does. You know, tell the girl, oh yeah, maybe I'll post this picture. Or like he doesn't want to put it. Don't force. Like Gavin, do you have any photos with your fiance on IG
Probably.
that you posted? That you posted, not your fiance posted.
I don't think so. That is weird. Yeah, guys aren't about that, huh? Because guys aren't about posting pictures.
I used to be. I used to be. I have to admit, I used to be.
Well, the reason
Yeah, you
is
don't
like
want
I don't want people up in my shit, right?
Yeah, see,
That's the
like I'm
thing.
just
Like,
looking. I'm just looking at your Instagram. You have literally no pictures with your fiance.
I have not a lot. I have no pictures at all recently, actually.
You have 295 posts. You have more posts than me.
Yeah, but a lot of it was from years ago, right? Like, there's been nothing to post about recently. It depends on the person. Like, first of all, I'm gonna say from this guy, sounds like he's not into posting pictures to begin with. Few landscape pictures, one photo of himself. I don't think he's the person to be open about their personal life, right? Like myself, I used to post a lot of landscape pictures when there was landscape to take pictures of. Of course, now there's not that much shit to post about, so I don't post a lot too. I want to go back. If this was a person who does post frequently, likes to share their life, then I think potentially hiding the girlfriend in this situation potentially could be a red flag. I think so. Because if you're sharing so much about your life already and you're being super personal, is a red flag. I think so.
What if you make the guy post, but the girl doesn't post? Does that mean the girl is a red flag?
Maybe, yeah. I would say so. I would say so.
So
if
how's
you
it fair?
if you asked, like, if your girlfriend asked you explicitly, post this picture of us.
But like I don't think a dude or a girl, like if I tell my girlfriend, if I had a girlfriend, I tell her that like, oh, I want you.
I know. Of course, it sounds petty. It sounds petty.
It's not just petty. It shows you're insecure. It shows your lack of confidence. It just shows so much of your personality. It's like, bro, what are you doing with your life? Like, you're inconsistent. You're insecure. You want to flaunt your life, whatever. Like, bro, that's not required. If it comes naturally, it comes naturally. Maybe like the day like he proposes to you and he posts that proposal picture. Don't force it. Let it naturally come, right? If the guy posts it, he posts it. Same with the girl. If the girl posts it, she posts it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But let's say you were in a situation though. Let's say you were in a situation though. You were asked to post a picture. What did you do? Did you post a picture?
No, I did not post a picture.
Why not? Like, be real. What was stopping you? What was stopping you from posting the picture? I'm assuming this is a past relationship, so it's over. So you can talk about this, right? What was stopping you?
I just didn't want to.
Why not? If you want to share, was it low key? You knew other girls were following you on Instagram. Be real.
No, 100% no. Right? Well, I have a lot of girls that follow me on Instagram. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but like there's a reason. Like what she was saying. Like, okay, there's other girls following you on Instagram. You don't want to post your girlfriend on Instagram because you wanna kind of have this idea like, yo, you're single, right?
And that's what one of my exes thought. She's like, right. Oh, why don't you? Like, she hinted it. She's like, oh, you never post a picture of us on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't feel like there's a right picture for it.
I don't want it. Yeah.
I don't want to. There's sometimes you just don't feel like to, right? And to be fair, I would say like I didn't know it was gonna like work out as well.
So like that led to you kind of iffy on it. Like you didn't want to post a picture because you weren't sure you guys were going to work out. And it goes back like you don't want to do the walk of shame of deleting it.
Yeah. To be honest, if a guy, I feel like if a guy's willing to post something and he's willing to share, a picture of this girl, I do feel like the guy is more confident about that relationship.
It's a big step, right? It's a big step.
Posting a picture of the like I used to think it's not a big step, but like as I age, I feel like it's a big thing. Like, dude, if I had to post a picture for every one of my exes, you know how many fucking pictures I would delete on Instagram? A lot. I can tell you a lot right now.
Hashtag like, humble brag.
No, it's actually not a good thing, but the point is, like I do feel like if a guy's willing to post it, it's a huge step. I feel like the guy's like pretty confident in this relationship. It's not that, oh, I want to be seen as single. It's more like the explaining if you delete the pictures.
Yeah. Right. So knowing that, and of course, I'm in agreement. Knowing that, and the girl knowing that, like, yo, if a guy posts a picture of you on their timeline, that means they're confident in the relationship. knowing that, it makes sense why the girl would want to ask the guy, to kind of validate that, like, yo, are you serious about this, right? Like we heard from your example, you weren't so serious about that. You had your doubts. That's why you didn't want to post a picture.
I'm serious about all my relationships. Okay, the goal
right,
is
but
to get
you had
married.
The doubts. You had the doubts, bro. You had the doubts.
Oh, obviously, yes.
Right?
Doubts.
So after talking about that from the female perspective, in theory, if you wanted to confirm the nature of the relationship, the best case scenario is you show up on his timeline, right? On his post.
Here's the thing. I see people's posts and they don't have any pictures with their girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Once the guy proposes and they're engaged, I see pictures. It's like that girlfriend appear out of nowhere, because that's when you know the relationship is solidified.
Yeah,
when you put
that
engagement ring on,
the fucking engagement
that's when you know,
photo, right?
that shit is getting fucking real. Like legit. I've seen pictures where I never knew this guy even dated, and all of a sudden, like, bam,
the so engagement. Who the fuck is this,
photo.
Right?
Yeah, like the guy's proposing.
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, like, maybe I'm not close to these people, so I don't really know this person, but, like, even people, like, that I talk to once in a while, like, I don't know. Like, I've never seen his girlfriend. Like, he does not even want to show me until the day, oh, yeah, I'll send you a picture, whatever. Like, that's when you know a guy's, like, confident with the relationship,
What's your advice for this girl? Is she overthinking this? Is she insecure? What are your final thoughts?
She is 100% insecure. She's 100% lacking in confidence about this relationship or this person, whatever, or herself, that she's not good enough for him. But overall, I feel like, just give him time. I feel like just give him time. I don't know how long to date it for, but give him time, right? Like, if it works out, it works out, man. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can't force stuff like this.
Can't force the sacred IG pic.
Yeah, man.
All right, listeners, let us know what you think in the comments. Anyways.
I actually have a second answer. Yeah. Just playing the devil's advocate myself.
Do it up.
Maybe he's just a very DL guy.
I think so. I think from what it sounds like, he's DL. He only has a few landscape photos and one photo of himself pre-COVID. That's pretty DL. I mean, that's what I said at the beginning. Probably doesn't want to share a lot about his life because, well, let's be real. If you're putting shit on the internet, everyone can see it. If you want to be safe about your personal information, why are you giving out more shit, right? It's pretty straightforward. Being DL is fine. I don't think it's an issue in this case because the guy just happens to be DL. That's fine. Where I do think it's a red flag, though, is if the guy, and I said this before, is if the guy posts a lot about his personal life. He's sharing everything. If he was a landscape photographer and there's a landscape photographer account, it makes sense that maybe he doesn't share about personal shit. But if this guy is sharing personal shit every day, what he's eating, where he's hanging out, what he's doing, to be honest, I think it's a red flag if the girlfriend doesn't appear in either a post or a story or something, right? Like
about how it's
like if the guy was super sharing. Not super sharing. If the guy was open to sharing essentially everything they do in their life, except for the fact that it was the girlfriend. That's a red flag.
I want to answer this question first.
Yes.
When you say sharing, is he sharing on his IG story or is he sharing this on his posts?
Let's say both for the purposes. Let's say both for the purposes of this hypothetical.
I don't know if it's a red flag, bro. Maybe he just wants to keep his relationship in the DL. To be fair,
you can't even have one pic. Like if you're sharing so much about your personal life, there's no reason not to share your girl who you're dating. Unless, yes, I agree. You might want to keep your personal. You might want to keep your romance secret, but you're already sharing so much of what you do, like what you're eating, where you're going.
The girl, but you also have to consider the fact how long I've been dating.
That's true. What would you say? What would you say though? If they're dating for let's say a year.
I would say it's a pretty fair question for the girl to ask, but
if it was a year, right?
I would say it's a pretty fair question for a girl to ask.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a red flag. If the guy says no, it's a no. I don't care if he's sharing or not. Maybe he just doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm. No, that's where we differ. I think if the guy's personality is that he's down to share, then he's definitely hiding something. If he's not down, like if the girlfriend asked him to post, you know what I'm saying? If he was asked post a picture of the couple and he didn't, I think that's a red flag. Assuming this person was already down to post rest of their life. On the other hand, like from this post, the guy seems DL, so I don't think it's a red flag.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, like not related to this post, but how do you see me?
I don't think you post a lot. You don't post a lot.
True.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you said you didn't want to post a picture. But you post a lot of stories. You know what I'm saying?
Not recently.
Not recently, because there's nothing to do, right? Like, whenever you go out, you're always posting stories. Like, motherfucker, I don't want to be in your story. I don't want to be associated with this motherfucker Jack C. Get this camera out of my face, right? But, okay, let's talk about the stories, though. It's a bit different, right? Let's say he's not putting the girlfriend in the stories. What does that tell you?
I don't know. I rarely put my girlfriends in the stories as well.
Like, you're going out for dinner. Clearly, there's someone's hand right on the second plate. You know what I'm talking about. The fucking you're on the table. Your plate in front of you. A second plate further away from you, presumably in front of someone else. You know what I'm talking about. Is that as serious as a post? You know, if the girlfriend came up on the IG story.
I don't know, man. Like, to be honest, for me,
because that shit disappears after 24 hours.
But here's the thing. Like, I share my food a lot. You know that.
But
I don't share people a lot.
Yo, you share people all the time. Every time you go hang out, you're doing like a group. You're doing a panorama shot of all of us. We're always like, get this fucking camera out of my way.
Bro, it's only if it's a group event. If it's like one-on-one with a dude or a girl, I don't do the other person.
Okay. All right.
Like,
respectable.
Dude, I go eat with Seb, right? You know, I don't put his face. I just put the food. You know what I mean? It's same with girls, right? But then, like, to be fair, like, if, you know, I would ask sometimes, depending on the, you know, type of dinner, is like, do you want to be in it? And then if they don't want to, I won't do it. If they want to be in it, they'll be in it. Or if I know this person and she doesn't mind, I'll just do it.
So let's go back to the question at hand. The guy doesn't want to put her in the IG stories. I'm not talking about posts. I'm not talking about posts though. We're talking about IG stories.
Again, how much does he does IG story? If he doesn't do it often, that doesn't fucking matter.
But this is a guy who does it a lot. Let's say this is a guy who does it a lot. Then I would say it's a red flag still. Like I don't think it's a red flag. Our listeners, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Is this a red flag? Is this not a red flag? I would say for this specific post, I don't think it's a red flag because the guy seems like he is pretty low key. Maybe he posts some stories occasionally, but we don't know of what, right? Let us know what you think. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a comment on the website, www.diu108-part2.com. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's all DIU Podcast. You can listen to us on Anchor or Spotify. And if you're on Spotify, what do we tell people on Spotify, Jack?
Rate us 5-star, don't rate us.
Rate us 5 stars or don't rate us at all, man. There you go. If you want to get in touch with the show more personally, you can email us, diupodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, go to diupod.com/beer. Leave us a little donation. Leave us a little something to get us motivated to keep putting out episodes. Is that it? Let us know what you think about this week's issue. And
donate us money. Chinese New Year, red envelope.
I said that already, bro, but okay.
You didn't say red envelopes, you said beer.
What is red envelopes? How would they give us a red envelope?
It's just send us a beer, that's a red envelope.
This fucking guy, bro. This fucking guy. That's a red flag right there, man. That's a red flag. This guy's not listening. This guy doesn't listen to what I say. That's a red flag right there.
Bro. It's going here for okay?
Fair. Technically, we're recording on February 1st, Chinese New Year. So still valid points. Well, Chinese New Year is like 2 weeks long, right? So technically still valid for a while. Okay, I'll let it go. I'll let it go this time. That's going to do it for this week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Jack C, take us away.
Thank you for listening and tune in next time on DIU Podcast. I choke under pressure. I'm like LeBron James. I choke.